like your book better, but I like the poems.
Thank you. Wow. So this was the original cover, and it's been a lot of fun. I loved the Astral Plane restaurant. I worked there for about 5 years, and this was essentially a series of exercises where I was trying to learn how to write better about characters, trying to develop some characterization, and because I was trying to sell a novel at that point, and it wasn't really working for me.
Okay.
So I had an editor actually who was one of my customers, and she said, "This is what you should do." And so I used to just basically like write little portraits of people while they were coming into the restaurant, and it just developed into this. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better place to be because there were so many eccentric characters that I worked with, and my boss and the chef, they were just a bunch of, I don't know. It was just like the place where everyone went that wasn't accepted anywhere else. Like that was the restaurant. But it was in business for so long. It was the bohemian place. It was there for like 35 years or so. But by the time I started working there, it was voted most romantic in the city, and it was really popular at that point. But we had these people who were working there that had been there for like 15, 23 years, and you know, they were old eccentric people, and it was a lot of fun. The chef would openly brag about how after work he would be going on Craigslist to solicit married men for sexual favors and things. You know, it was wild. It was a funky place. So I decided that I was going to honor it. What's that?
As himself, or was he?
Yeah, as himself. Yeah. So he was one of the most eccentric, crazy people there. But aside from these older people who had been there for a long time, maybe I shouldn't say that online about Rudy.
Now you said his name.
Yeah.
Hey, Rudy.
Well, actually, I gave Rudy a copy of the book, and he loved it. And I asked him first if I could use him as a character. And so he gave me his permission. But at the same time, I feel bad in a way because I don't know. In a way, I feel like I've exploited him a little bit, but I really intended to honor him more than anything else because he actually became a really good friend of mine.
If you want that cut, we can cut it. Whatever you want to do is fine.
Okay, cool.
You just tell me.
All right. So this was fun. Gwennifer asked me to do this, and at the same time, I enrolled in a Stephen King class at UNCW.
Oh, cool.
So I'm a graduate student right now, and I'm actually trying to sell another novel right now. Not the same one as I was when I was writing that, but I've been working with this editing company based in London called Cornerstones, and they're really good. They serve as book doctors, and it's hard to find really good criticism. You know, you can give books to friends, and they'll read them, and they'll say, "Oh, that's really good," but you know, it's not always what you're looking for in terms of constructivity. So I enrolled in this Stephen King class right at the same time that Gwennifer asked me to write a horror story, or like a vicious Valentine story. So that was my inspiration, and it was so much fun. But what would you like me to read? Would you like me to read?
Read your favorite part of the Valentine and your favorite story part.
Okay.
From Astral Plane.
Well, there's two stories in here. The first story is shorter. I'll read that one. That's the actual Vicious Valentine, and then the backstory is the one about my wife and I, and when we were getting married. I decided to put something in there that was a little bit on the sweet side as well. So that was a Valentine's Day present for my wife, putting that in here because she didn't know I was going to do it.
That would explain why when I saw Jess and I said, "I've been reading so much about you this week," because she's looking at me blankly.
Yeah.
Now, okay.
Yeah. It was a surprise for her. And yeah, it's great. All right, so I'll read Decapitation. I was actually going through some issues with my cat at the time, and She now lives outside, but she's loving it. She's having a good time. Yeah.
This weather anyway.
Yeah, in the end, I think that she was intentionally trying to allow me to let her go outside by what she kept doing in the house. So she could lay in the sun. You know, she's got a little bed now outside where underneath my office where she hangs out. So I try to provide for her the best I can, but this kid, you know.
So you're Phil in this character.
No, not really.
Are you Phil?
No.
Okay.
There's only so many carpets you can replace before you decide.
Phil's the protagonist or whatever, the character. I don't know.
Yeah. So, Phil. Damn cat. Phil cursed. Balancing on one leg in the bedroom of his apartment, removing a urine-soaked sock, he was doing his best not to let his soiled foot touch the floor. What the hell is wrong with her? Seconds later, Chops, a middle-aged golden retriever, pounced in, panting, his long tongue and hoary breath the last sensations Phil would remember before falling back, slamming his head on the hardwood floor and blacking out. When his eyes registered life, Phil saw Joanna's round, concerned face, her blonde hair pulled back, exposing dark roots. "You okay, baby?" she asked, cupping his head in her hands. "I heard a thump, and when you didn't answer, I thought maybe you'd..." "I'm fine," Phil said, wincing. Joanna took a long breath, her eyes sagging with relief. "What are we going to do about her?" she asked, looking down at the puddle around him. "I don't know. We can't keep living like this. Tell me about it. I'm about to call Tom and Darcy and bitch them out for bringing their fucking cat with them the last time they stayed. Daisy's been spraying piss all over the place ever since." "Don't have a conniption," Joanna said. "They did buy us a new vacuum." Phil huffed, puffing out his chest. "There was nothing wrong with the old one. Now we have two and even less storage. What good is that?" Somebody else is here. Joanna released his head and stood up, fists on her hips, towering above him. Sensing an opening, Chop scampered over, whimpering, before backing off, repelled by the smell. Phil could feel the wetness on his back and his shirt and pants. Grimacing as he sat up, he paused for a moment on his knees before standing. "You okay?" Joanna asked. "Hi, Valerie."
Hey. We heard a rumor you were reading about cats.
Right.
That's why
Cavitation.
I'm allergic. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. We'll stay on this side.
Actually,
You say hi to Joel?
You gonna take off?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
I have to tell